This is one of the most famous islands in One Piece. It was a turning point of Straw Hat Pirates, but it's not just character development and fight against the world government that makes this island special, but it's the island itself. Look at the structure of this island. It's a floating piece of three lands connected together, beneath which is a giant hole in the middle of the ocean, where for some weird reason, water never fills in. Some believe that this hole looks similar to the one that appeared after Mother Flame was blasted over Lulusia Kingdom. Maybe there was another kingdom eradicated by world government upon which they made their stronghold, Enies Lobby. The world government have three main strongholds: Marineford, Enies Lobby, and the prison cell Impel Down. All of three islands are connected in triangular points, behind which there is a massive, humongous gate, the Gate of Justice. Only government ships can enter and exit through these gates, and if by any chance some pirate ship enter here, they will never be able to exit out. When I first saw these gates in anime, I thought, why not just go around it? But now I know you just can't. When you think how well this is thought, you kinda take a dive at the genius mind of Eichiro Oda, the man who crafted the amazing world of One Piece. These types of world creation is only seen at long-running animes like Pokemon World or Dragon Ball World. But despite the big worlds of this anime, there was a key factor missing which Oda sensei didn't miss to accomplish, and that is touch of reality. The world of One Piece is divided into four seas: East, West, South, and North Blue. Each sea has their own types of habitats, climate, aquatic life, and islands. But the story of One Piece revolves around the Grand Line, a vast strip of sea filled with unknowns of the world, stretched around the globe. This Grand Line is surrounded by a calm belt, which means there is no ocean current there, so ships with sail cannot travel there. Now, the only other option left to enter Grand Line is through Reverse Mountain, a mountain in red line where all four blue seas meet climbing upward the mountain, and only by climbing through this one can enter the Grand Line. Grand Line is a mysterious sea with mysterious creatures, island, and weather. The climate in this region changes absurdly. There is no fixed weather. At one minute it can be sunny as summer, and the next it's storming. It's a blessing Straw Hats have Nami who can smell the weather from distance and navigates easily around. But to travel in Grand Line, a regular compass doesn't work. So you need a log post which doesn't show you direction, but instead it points out to an island and then from there the next island. Kind of very random. You can land on a snowy island or a deserted kingdom of Alabaster. And if you're lucky enough and have a strong ship to survive the knockup stream, you can be on an island above clouds known as Skypia, where people live on clouds and ride motor jets from which you can fall directly in the ocean. And they were ruled by a narcissistic guy, Enel, who lives in his own dream world, thinks himself of God. We still like this guy. He just met Luffy early in the story, so had to lose. And if you're new to One Piece and think how weird this is, then there is a kingdom which moves around in the ocean carrying people who are animals that can talk and goes berserk under full moon, and they are ruled by two kings, a dog and a cat. Yeah. When you think about it, how well the world of One Piece is crafted, then you think about the mind of Eiichiro Oda. Eiichiro Oda's first known manga is Wanted, which he crafted at the age of 17 in his high school days. He has always wanted to be a mangaka ever since he was a kid. He was very inspired by Vicky the Viking and became fascinated by the idea of pirates. In 1997, he drew Romance Storm, which was the base of One Piece. At that time, he didn't know where the story will lead to. But later down the path, he crafted one of the biggest world in manga, World of D, Grand Line, Void Century, Joy Boy Emu, and many other mysteries. At that time, he never knew he will construct this great of a story. One Piece was not planned. Even the idea of 11 supernovas from first generation came into his mind just before making the Sabaody arc. What a guy. What a genius. The world created is so majestic. Think about it. There is a Grand Line which have many islands with different paths. But the only way to reach Laugh Tale is through decoding the inscription on a poneglyph. And not just any poneglyph, but the red poneglyph. And these inscriptions can only be read by scholars of Ohara who are dead, and the people of Kozuki clan who were the one to carve this inscription. Now, on this final island, Laugh Tale, what is there? No idea. We just knew there might be the greatest treasure left by Pirate King Goldie Roger. But that might not be true. Maybe he just fooled us for 23 years. Or it can be something related to past kingdom from White Century, and maybe at that century there lived a guy named Joy Boy who was like a liberal hero figure for the people who are suffering. We don't know about it, but there are many theories as like Joy Boy and Emu were enemies, and then he died, and Emu took over the world and removed any evidence of him. Now, if you don't know Emu, then he is the shadow figure who rules the world government, which many don't know about. Everyone thinks that the world is governed by Goroses, these five old men, and they rule over marine, which protects civilians from pirates. But there's a single guy who rules the world government. In latest chapters, we even came to the light that the 19 swords in front of Emu's throne signifies a agreement made by 19 kingdoms that there will be no sole ruler of the world. But this dark figure just said fuck to everyone and sat on the empty throne to rule the world. I would have done that too, but anyway. And now they don't want anyone to know about the secrets of the world and what happened back in the White Century that led to this. Oda also created the celestial dragons, which represent the riches of the world, the powerful people that have so much wealth that they control the government decisions, control the traits and trends of the world, and they absolutely despise the poor and think of them as nothing but slaves. These rich families can do anything and no action will be taken against them. In fact, they will be protected at the cost of even soldiers. They do inhuman things just for their personal entertainment and destroys anyone and any race who stands against them. I just hate them, as they remind me of the people from VIP lines who have so much space they can dance around, while I'm here struggling in the crowd fighting with some weird uncle standing behind me, touching my ass. The world of One Piece is not just all pirate adventures going on fascinating islands. It also has a dark side which shows the struggle of people, be it at the hands of government or Yonko like Kaido. It shows that at the end it's just people who struggle. War are led by government and pirates, but it's people who suffer. It's kids who goes hunger for days, it's the olds that dies of thirst, and youngs that are made slaves. The richest treat them with no kind. To government they are just tools on the trust of whom they build their power, and to some pirates they are just wigs that can be exploited. From time to time, through this depiction of differences and unfairness in One Piece, Oda has portrayed the reality of our world. Just like the Lunarian race who were captured, tortured, experimented, and eradicated, where now the holy land of Marijos is made upon, shows similarity of real world where many indigenous races were eradicated and their lands are captured by the riches. When you watch anime, you kind of see the suffering more visually, and sometimes it invokes the emotion, and if you look at it, the sum up of the story is struggle and suffering of people, which is relieved by Luffy and Straw Hats, and not to forget the revolutionary army led by infamous most wanted man Monkey D. Dragon, whose only purpose is to throw down the world government and help the people from suffering. The world of One Piece is a well thought story where there is a governing structure which seems fair but they are not. There are pirates who are free from any bondage, people who think they are protected but instead exploited, Yonkos which rules above pirates, Emu who rules above the government, the rich, the poor, the rebellions, a erase history, the will of tea, which represents freedom and liberty passed over from ages. A protagonist who is free in this world of suffering and now believed to be the Joy Boy who will bring liberation and dawn in the world of One Piece. The way story is told and mystery emerges even at this point, it just gets you interested to know more. That's just how Eichiro Oda has crafted the world of One Piece.